The world contains places so exclusive that money alone cannot guarantee entry. Locations where even billionaires occasionally get rejected at the door. Along Sardinia's northeastern shore lies such a kingdom. 35 kilometers of pristine coastline transformed from barren wilderness into Europe's most expensive real estate through one prince's extraordinary vision. In today's episode, we reveal Italy's most exclusive sanctuary, a billionaire enclave hidden in plain sight, where architectural discipline meets unlimited resources, and where the world's wealthiest individuals find something increasingly precious: privacy within paradise. If exclusivity were a currency, Porto Cervo would make Monaco look like a bargain bin at your local discount store. The crown jewel of Sardinia's famed Costa Smeralda attracts wealth with magnetic force, creating a category so elite that billionaires occasionally check their bank balances twice. Along this 35-kilometer stretch of pristine Sardinian coastline, the Mediterranean Sea transforms into an artist's palette, painting daily spectacles of sapphire and emerald hues that give the coast its evocative name. Here, in this purpose-built paradise, berths at the marina exceed the cost of luxury homes elsewhere, with space for 700 boats, including 60 dedicated superyacht slots for vessels that arrive each summer with helicopter pads aboard. Property values in Romazzino Bay command €300,000 per square meter, establishing it as Europe's most expensive real estate market, where walk-in closets cost more than entire luxury apartments in Rome or Milan. The Pitrizza, Romazzino, and Cala di Volpe hotels consistently rank among the 10 most expensive accommodations worldwide, offering presidential suites that cost per night what many Europeans earn in half a year. When Steven Spielberg's yacht, Seven Seas, docks near Eclipse, oligarch Roman Abramovich's 528-foot floating palace, alongside the Sultan of Oman's Al Said, the harbour becomes a floating exhibition of wealth exceeding £1 billion. Porto Cervo maintains a human scale despite its outsized reputation, housing a permanent population of 421 residents who witness the seasonal influx of global plutocrats and their marine treasures. The village stands apart from any Mediterranean competitor, representing a vision where extravagance meets restraint, and every architectural element serves both aesthetics and harmony with nature. The structures communicate wealth through subtlety rather than ostentation. Meticulously designed low-rise buildings in muted Mediterranean tones blend into the landscape with calculated modesty. At the epicenter of this privileged enclave stands the Billionaire Club, launched by Formula One maestro Flavio Briatore in 1998, creating theatrical displays where champagne cascades like waterfalls when patrons order 10 bottles, complete with fireworks. Summer transforms the village dramatically as celebrities, royalty, fashion icons, tech entrepreneurs, and industrial tycoons arrive, creating perhaps the world's highest concentration of wealth per square meter, with helicopter arrivals occurring with taxi-like frequency. Porto Cervo distinguishes itself through meticulous preservation, protecting the natural beauty that attracted its founders while delivering unparalleled luxury experiences. While much of the Mediterranean shore succumbed to concrete high-rises during tourism booms, Porto Cervo enforced architectural discipline that created an environment appearing to emerge organically from the rugged Sardinian terrain. Walking through pristine marble piazzas or along the quayside where vessels worth hundreds of millions rest at anchor, visitors experience the rarest of luxury commodities: exceptional taste, working in harmony with extraordinary wealth. The unwritten social code demands discretion above all, creating the Mediterranean's anti-Las Vegas, where everything happens quietly, elegantly, and without public documentation. Porto Cervo represents a unique creation story, conjured from barren coastline 60 years ago into perhaps the most meticulously crafted luxury resort on Earth. The story begins with a young visionary who forever changed luxury tourism, Prince Karim Aga Khan IV. The year was 1958, when Prince Karim Aga Khan IV first encountered what locals called Monte di Mola, a wild, untouched stretch of northeastern Sardinian coastline destined to redefine global luxury. At merely 22 years old, the Harvard-educated spiritual leader of the world's Ismaili Muslims arrived after a 4-hour trek along mule trails to find an investment property lacking basic amenities. No paved roads, no electricity, no running water. Sardinian stories recount how the prince initially considered the purchase a miscalculation, yet everything changed when he returned the following summer aboard his yacht. Viewing the coastline from the sea transformed his perspective completely. From offshore, the young Aga Khan perceived unlimited potential in the pristine landscape, a blank canvas for creating an exclusive resort that would welcome varied financial brackets, as he explained in a 1964 interview, intended for wallets of all sizes. On March 14, 1962, the prince gathered with lawyer Mario Altea di Tempio and a select group of investors to formally establish the Consorzio Costa Smeralda, committing 5,000 acres of uninhabited terrain to a revolutionary luxury concept. While developers elsewhere constructed concrete monoliths along Mediterranean coastlines, the Aga Khan enacted rigorous architectural guidelines that protected the natural beauty, mandating buildings conform to the mountainous landscape rather than imposing upon it. His revolutionary construction codes limited structures to low-rise profiles with pastel color palettes rather than stark white facades, with every building first modeled in wire to verify environmental harmony before construction began. Swiss-French designer Jacques Quel collaborated with Italian architect Luigi Vietti to pioneer a Mediterranean village aesthetic, combining traditional Sardinian elements with innovative approaches that birthed the signature Costa Smeralda architectural language. Vietti, credited with naming the Emerald Coast, crafted both Porto Cervo village and Serbiat villas for the prince's personal use, selecting premium materials and classical forms that achieved a timeless balance between historical reference and contemporary function. The Quel dynasty, Father Jacques and son Savin, applied their sculpture architecture fusion philosophy, incorporating local granite, traditional woods, and unconventional materials like wire while engaging regional artisans for detailed craftsmanship. Their crowning achievement, Hotel Cala di Volpe, epitomizes the Porto Cervo contradiction. Externally mimicking a modest fishing village while housing ultra-modern luxury interiors, establishing the signature contrast that defines the resort's unique character. The Aga Khan's environmental foresight surpassed mere aesthetics. He explicitly prohibited shoreline construction, preserving pristine beaches decades before conservation became standard practice in coastal development. Transportation infrastructure expanded rapidly, with the Aga Khan founding Alisada Airline, later renamed Meridiana, in 1963, followed by Olbia Costa Smeralda Airport 4 years later to connect his creation with global destinations. The comprehensive development strategy included specialized divisions: Stegs handling water systems and engineering, Porto Cervo Spa managing port development, while a dedicated woodworking facility on a Porto Cervo hillside ensured architectural details met exacting standards. Though managing global business empires and spiritual leadership responsibilities, the Aga Khan maintained hands-on involvement, presiding over 7 a.m. board meetings at the tennis club during his monthly visits. The resulting creation transcended conventional resort development, achieving harmony between luxury and landscape, where aesthetic integrity commanded equal importance to profitability. This transformation of barren terrain into a naturally integrated luxury enclave established a pioneering model for sustainable development, contrasting sharply with unbridled construction that characterized other Mediterranean destinations. The Aga Khan's audacious experiment would surpass even his expectations, becoming the premier destination for global elites and redefining luxury tourism for generations to come. As the 1970s dawned, Porto Cervo had solidified its position as a luxury destination without peer, drawing European aristocracy, industrial magnates, and celebrities seeking both hedonism and privacy. The Aga Khan's ambitious vision had materialized into an enclave for the privilege that balanced exclusivity with authenticity, an especially impressive achievement considering its creation within a single decade. Yacht Club Costa Smeralda, established in 1967, rapidly ascended to become the Mediterranean's premier sailing organization, positioning Porto Cervo as the undisputed hub of elite yachting with prestigious regattas attracting royal sailing enthusiasts from across Europe. Fiat Patriarch Gianni Agnelli, known throughout Italy as L'Avvocato and a personal friend of the Aga Khan, brought his influential social circle, including fashion designers who would eventually open boutiques along Porto Cervo's elegant marble promenades. The 1980s witnessed critical expansion with the creation of Porto Cervo Marina, complementing the original harbour, rechristened Porto Vecchio, with cutting-edge facilities designed specifically for the growing armada of superyachts descending upon the Emerald Coast each season. This marina transcended its functional purpose to become the social heart of the community, where titans of industry and heirs to fortunes gathered at waterfront establishments strategically positioned to capture the dramatic Sardinian sunsets. Porto Cervo cultivated a rare atmosphere of protected exclusivity, where high-profile guests enjoyed freedom from media intrusion. Business leaders conducted discreet negotiations over extended meals, and aristocratic lineages socialized comfortably with self-made billionaires. The flagship hotels, Cala di Volpe, Pitrizza, and Romazzino, emerged as luxury icons in their own right, pioneering service standards that competitors scrambled to emulate, while their distinctive architectural profiles became instantly recognizable status symbols. When Pevero Golf Club unveiled its championship course in 1972, it added a crucial sporting dimension to the resort, threading through the aromatic macchia, whose distinctive Mediterranean fragrance became an olfactory signature of the Porto Cervo experience. Throughout its growth phases, the Consorzio Costa Smeralda exercised unwavering oversight of all development, enforcing architectural cohesion and environmental protection with a vigilance that preserved the founding aesthetic principles. Meticulous attention extended to seemingly minute details, burying electrical cables underground rather than installing overhead lines that would disrupt views, and carefully choreographing pathways to reveal breathtaking vistas at calculated intervals. The summer residents gradually established distinctive social patterns and traditions, sunset aperitivos, marathon dinner parties, yacht hopping during regattas, creating an exclusive seasonal community with unwritten but strictly observed protocols. Strategic limitation of accommodation inventory preserved the resort's exclusivity despite its growing international reputation, deliberately maintaining scarcity that ensured continual excess demand and prevented any risk of overcrowding. Porto Cervo demonstrated a unique capacity for evolution that preserved its fundamental character, introducing new attractions and facilities that enhanced the experience without compromising its essential identity. By the early 1990s, the resort occupied an unassailable position atop the global luxury pyramid, symbolizing something beyond wealth alone. Discerning taste, cultural sophistication, and membership in a global community of connoisseurs. The meticulously crafted paradise still lacked a singular element to secure its dominance in the approaching millennium. A high-energy social venue that would complement the resort's refined atmosphere with a dash of spectacle. This catalyst arrived in 1998 through an audacious Formula One personality who recognized Porto Cervo needed a club commensurate with its billionaire patronage, creating a space where extravagance knew no bounds and beautiful people could revel until sunrise. Summer 1998 witnessed Porto Cervo's landscape forever altered when Flavio Briatore, the charismatic Formula One manager behind Michael Schumacher's racing dominance, launched his bold enterprise, Billionaire Club. Described in the venue's promotional materials as demonstrating sixth sense and vision, Briatore established an entertainment complex that immediately captured the elite and international crowd gravitating around Porto Cervo, fundamentally transforming the resort's social dynamics. The establishment's brazen name reflected its creator's marketing savvy. Briatore selected Billionaire specifically because, as he explained, such provocative branding was not easy to forget, while delivering precisely the extravagant experience such nomenclature promised. Architecturally integrated into a traditional Mediterranean villa, strategically positioned on a hillside commanding views of Costa Smeralda's coastline, the club featured sophisticated multi-tiered spaces, including intimate alcoves and panoramic balconies surrounding an expansive central terrace. The venue gained immediate notoriety for its theatrical wealth displays. Ordering 10 champagne bottles simultaneously triggered dramatic drum rolls, pyrotechnic shows, and superhero theme songs, while beautiful patrons danced atop tables until daybreak. Celebrity magnetism became an essential element of the billionaire formula, with Briatore utilizing his extensive Formula One connections to ensure continuous star power that reinforced the club's aura of exclusivity and aspiration. Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, who maintained a substantial villa along the coast and counted Briatore among his close associates, frequented the establishment regularly, effectively turning Porto Cervo into an unofficial summer annex of Rome's political power structure. Controversy eventually shadowed the glittering venue. During 2012, Briatore made headlines by announcing the club's closure, publicly criticizing Mario Monti's technocrat administration for generating social hate through aggressive tax enforcement targeting luxury yacht owners. Briatore's frank assessment to Italian magazine Chi: "In Italy, if you have a big boat and you arrive in a port, you are seen as either a bandit or a thief," captured the growing tension between conspicuous affluence and public sentiment, occasionally clouding Porto Cervo's carefree atmosphere. The shutdown proved short-lived as Billionaire Club underwent strategic reinvention, gradually transitioning from pure nightclub toward Briatore's expanded billionaire experience concept. blending upscale dining with theatrical entertainment, including professional dancers, vocalists, and acrobats. The 2020 pandemic forced additional adaptation when Briatore acknowledged that COVID-19 had permanently altered nightlife, declaring the traditional dance floor concept obsolete while expressing confidence that social connection would endure through modified formats. Billionaire Club epitomized Porto Cervo's broader transformation, expanding from the Aga Khan's original vision of architectural restraint toward more overt wealth celebration, mirroring global wealth patterns with new fortunes flowing from technology, financial engineering, and emerging markets. Ownership transitions paralleled these cultural shifts. American investor Tom Barrack acquired key assets through his Colony Capital vehicle in 2003 for approximately €290 million, including control of the marina, 4 signature hotels, and golf facilities. The internationalization continued when Qatar Holdings, the sovereign wealth operation of Qatar's royal family, bid for Smeralda Holdings' control, reflecting how Porto Cervo's audience had evolved from predominantly European aristocracy toward a global ultra-wealth community. Despite these structural and stylistic transformations, Porto Cervo preserved its fundamental appeal: the harmonious marriage between exceptional natural splendor and architectural refinement, creating an environment where global billionaires find stimulation alongside serenity. Modern challenges inevitably emerged. Climate disruption brought increasingly extreme Mediterranean weather patterns with unprecedented temperature records and unpredictable storm systems, occasionally interrupting the meticulously orchestrated summer calendar. Cultural contradictions intensified between maintaining traditional privacy standards versus accommodating contemporary visibility expectations, a particularly delicate balance in an era dominated by social media documentation and instantaneous global information sharing. Six decades after Prince Karim Aga Khan IV first glimpsed potential in an undeveloped Sardinian shoreline, Porto Cervo stands as an unparalleled achievement in resort creation, where billionaires vie for marina access and real estate commands prices that shatter economic models. The minuscule settlement, housing a mere 421 permanent residents, transforms each summer with an armada of mega yachts collectively valued beyond £1 billion, attracting a global registry of wealth from software innovators to petroleum monarchs. Porto Cervo's enduring triumph stems from unwavering commitment to its founding ideology rather than constant renovation or expansion, preserving the Aga Khan's original mandate of landscape reverence, architectural coherence, and aesthetic restraint. While neighboring Mediterranean destinations succumbed to excessive construction, Porto Cervo maintained stringent development controls that safeguarded both exclusivity and environmental integrity, creating a self-reinforcing cycle where limited availability sustained premium pricing while preserving exceptional quality. The dual harbour marina complex, comprising historic Porto Vecchio alongside contemporary Porto Cervo Marina, accommodates 700 vessels, including 60 designated superyacht berths, functioning as the resort's central social exchange where global plutocrats display nautical masterpieces each season. Contemporary Porto Cervo presents a fascinating contradiction, ranking among Earth's most financially prohibitive locations while maintaining an atmosphere of timelessness, where modern excess meets architectural discipline against a backdrop of pristine natural splendor. The prestigious yacht club Costa Smeralda maintains its international sailing prominence by hosting elite competitions, including the September Rolex Cup and June's Loro Piana Super Yacht Regatta, temporarily transforming the harbour into an exhibition of the world's finest sailing vessels. Retail luxury has elevated from supplementary amenity to essential attraction, with Via Camarel showcasing flagship boutiques from prestigious fashion houses including Louis Vuitton, Dolce & Gabbana, Chanel, Hermès, Dior, Valentino, and Ferragamo, many creating exclusive collections. The landmark hotels that established Porto Cervo's early reputation, Cala di Volpe, Pitrizza, and Romazzino, continue commanding premium positions among global accommodation rankings, their pioneering designs now considered definitive references for Mediterranean resort architecture. Flavio Briatore's entertainment portfolio has diversified beyond the original Billionaire Club to encompass Crazy Pizza and additional ventures, solidifying his position as Porto Cervo's entertainment authority while continuously adapting to evolving preferences and circumstances. Real estate valuations contradict fundamental market principles, with Romazzino Bay properties fetching €300,000 per square metre, elevating homes beyond mere investments into rarefied status markers accessible exclusively to the financial stratosphere. Examining Porto Cervo 60 years after inception reveals an extraordinary fulfillment of its creator's intent, transcending commercial success to achieve genuine environmental stewardship that enhances rather than exploits its natural setting. The Aga Khan's forward-thinking development philosophy, implementing architectural guidelines, protecting shorelines from construction, requiring landscape integration, anticipated contemporary environmental priorities decades before sustainability entered mainstream consciousness. Strategic questions surround Porto Cervo's future trajectory. Will its exclusivity endure amid expanding global wealth distribution? Can its environmental balance withstand accelerating climate disruption? Will its restrained aesthetic satisfy digital-era visitors accustomed to immediate gratification? Porto Cervo's historical adaptability while maintaining core identity suggests a promising path forward, introducing contemporary amenities and experiences without compromising fundamental principles that distinguish it from luxury competitors. The resort's ultimate contribution may transcend its role as affluent sanctuary to serve as prototype for environmentally conscious development, demonstrating how human habitation can complement natural settings rather than overwhelm them. Lucky visitors experience a rare perspective where financial constraints disappear but aesthetic judgment prevails, where billion-dollar vessels and designer boutiques somehow become secondary to nature's simple pleasures, Mediterranean sunsets illuminating perfectly proportioned hills. And now, I'd love to see you in the comments. Have you been to this legendary luxury location or somewhere similar? I look forward to hearing from you below, and ta-ta until the next episode.